All right, we're going to try this again. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Professional Foulers World Cup Situation Room. Had some technical difficulties for the first time around. Didn't have our Q&A app working the way that it should. But we're back. First round of the group matches of the World Cup are over, and it's been a great start, Kieran.
Yeah, it's been a great World Cup so far. Way more exciting than the 2010 one, I think. The teams that are matching up against each other, and teams really fighting it out for, supremacy in the group, and really fighting to get out of the group. And I think, we've seen some great goals over the past week, and it's just been an amazing experience so far, and I'm enjoying it for sure.
Yeah. I can't believe that, the very first goal of the 2014 World Cup was an own goal, and you could probably tell that there is something incredible was going to happen in this World Cup, and we had what two 4-0s and a 5-1 over the start, right?
Yeah, right, correct. Yeah, goals have been the theme of this World Cup, and it's great to see. Everyone loves goals, and the goals that have been scored are really good quality goals. It's not, besides a few own goals, which we hate to see, they're part of the game, but these goals have been fantastic, and the build-up play towards these goals have really made this tournament really interesting to watch.
Yeah, there's been three own goals, which is very, very funny. And at one point, own goal had the sole lead for most goals scored in the World Cup, which was hilarious. But now you have who's up there? Thomas Muller's up there, and Iron Robin has put
Right.
himself up there.
Even I think Van Persie has a shout out too for himself for the Golden Boot.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to watch. I mean, the Netherlands have been the hot team as well as the Germans. Who do you think is going to best carry over their form into our next round of fixtures?
It's definitely not going to be Iran for sure, but I'd have to go with Germany right now. They're looking really efficient. They've got some really good goal scorers. Their play has been fantastic. They're getting goals, from the defense and up top with Muller, who's the second coming of Miroslav Klose. I just think that they're primed to go all the way. But we've seen form dip and fortunes change. So this World Cup, it's still really up for grabs for anyone right now.
Definitely. Well, let's start reviewing some of the matches. We were off yesterday, so let's start with the matches from yesterday. First match from then was we had well, that was today, but yesterday, Belgium and Algeria. Kieran, I know that you're following the Belgians for Soccer News Day. Talk about their match against Algeria.
It was, I don't know. I felt it was like a game of two halves. I guess we saw the really ugly where Belgium really couldn't get anything going offensively, and we've seen that the quality of Belgium, that the players that make up the Belgian team are very strong, very confident type of players. They live up for the big stage, but they're unable to break down a really pesky Algerian side defensively, and unfortunately, Algeria or Belgium gave up a penalty shot, and Algeria capitalized on it, and it was a real shock for me because I thought Belgium would single-handedly destroy Algeria in this game, but I guess it shows again that the gap between teams is closing, and the quality is showing for a lot of these teams.
They talk about destruction. The destruction definitely happened, and it all happened in the final 10 minutes. Actually, the final 15 minutes when you had Marouane Fellaini with just a beautiful flick onto the goal. A header with his back to the goal, just reaches back and puts it on frame, and then follow that with the goal from Mertens. Just stepped into it, one touch, and blasted to the corner of the net. A great fight back from Belgium, but again, this is a team that you really feel shouldn't have gone down early and then taken that long to respond.
Right, exactly. I think there's too much quality in this Belgium team to fail. And you kind of wonder, can they go up against the likes of Germany or Argentina or Brazil, where they have a really established squad and they know how to win. can they take a fight to them? If they struggled against Algeria in their first match, it's going to be really hard to see Belgium to be able to get out of certain dogfights if need be.
Second match from yesterday was Brazil and Mexico when Guillermo Ochoa just had the the game of the round. Probably might have been the goalkeeping game of the World Cup. He made 6 saves, and three of them were from point blank range. One of them with him, with 3 Brazilians bearing down on him, and of course the save that he made at the end to keep Brazil out of the net from that free kick close, and then of course the very save from early in the match, that header from Neymar where he reached across and kept the ball right at the edge of the goal. Guillermo Ochoa, man of the round, might be, goalkeeper of the World Cup.
And the best thing is he's a free agent right now. That he is not attached to a club, so I can imagine his agent must be loving it right now. The money that is going to come in for Ochoa when he signs for a new club. It's unbelievable. He must be getting so many offers right now, especially after that strong performance against Brazil.
Yeah, they say he's supposed to be out of contract in I think it might be like 10 days now. So, there's going to be a whole bunch of money being thrown at him.
Right, exactly, and it's good to see. Good to see a performance from a pretty well-known keeper, but who's still building up his international profile. And it was a good performance by Mexico overall. They really fought against the home crowd and Brazil too, and really took it to Brazil. And unfortunate they weren't able to capitalize on chances of their own.
Yeah, but that the Mexico 5-3-2, I was really impressed with it when they used it against Cameroon, and it seemed to be working in their favor against Mexico. They weren't able to, of course, get the goal that they wanted, but they were able to defend well, I felt, and it showed against Cameroon that they're able to attack well. When you see a team line up in a 5-3-2, you don't expect them to be a very strong attacking side, but those
Right.
wingbacks, Layun and I think Herrera, or I can't remember who the right back is. I do know the left back is Layun, was doing very well to push the attack down the flanks for the Mexican team. And do you think that Mexico will be able to ride that and get out of the group when they go up against Croatia next week?
We'll talk about this later, but Croatia, I think right now is a really strong team. They're really they took their chances well. It really depends on the finishing from both sides. You have Mandzukic coming in now for the Croatians, and he's a proven striker. I believe he had 2 today, and he was able to put them away pretty handedly. Mexico did struggle to score against Cameroon. Obviously they had a couple chances where the ref kind of screwed up, and it could have changed the complexion of the match. But I don't know if they can turn it around and after a strong defensive performance. They'll have to show the same resiliency that they did against Brazil, and they'll have to put that performance against Croatia.
Diego commenting, Paul Aguilar is the right wing back. Thank you very much, Diego, who
Thank you, sir.
is the man who also correctly predicted the Spaniards not going through. And I also predicted the Mexicans getting out of their group. So, Diego, thank you very much. Your knowledge is a great national treasure.
Thank you, sir.
Let's go ahead and hop to our last match from last night before we take over today and talk about what happened with the Spaniards against Chile. Russia and South Korea, a match that started off boring and then heated up and then, leveled off boring at the end. 0-0 for the longest, and you have possibly the worst save of the entire World Cup by Akinfeev, the shot that just hits him right in the chest and goes right over his shoulder. How do you even react to something like that?
I call that the Fabio Capello syndrome. You saw it happen in the last World Cup with Robert Green, and it happened again with Akinfeev. I don't know who the goalkeeping coach is that Capello employs, but seriously, it was not a good performance by Akinfeev, and luckily he got bailed out by Kurzhakov towards the end of the match with that the game tying goal. But otherwise Russia would be in a lot of problems right now. And, a lot of people have Russia getting out of the group. They really didn't show that strength though, that that urge to push forward and to find that to get a winner and to get out of the group, I guess too.
Yeah, Korsikov with a brilliant strike there to tie the game for Russia. But let's talk about it. Worst goal, Robert Green or Akinfeev?
I'm gonna go with Akinfeev with giving up the worst goal. It has to be because it was a straight shot, I believe, and it just went through his gloves. It's a standard save for most keepers. I could probably even make that save. I'm willing to bet.
You know,
But
go ahead.
and with Robert Green giving up his goal, you saw the ball took some weird bounces towards Robert Green, and I don't know if that was an issue for him, whether that bounce really threw off his dive or whatnot, and I felt like it just skipped through his hand as opposed to Akinfeev's shot where it just went right through.
I have to give it to Robert Green just simply because of how pathetic that he looked during that own goal. When you're down on the ground and you're on your knee and you see the ball go spinning into the goal behind you and you're powerless to stop it, that's really embarrassing. And of course, we're still talking about it to this day. Akinfeev, he'll be remembered for just not stopping the shot, but Robert Green is going to be remembered for crawling on the goal line as the ball goes rolling past him. So that for me, that's got to be the worst own goal. I mean, not right in the worst goal, but the worst goal.
Given up by a keeper, right?
Yeah.
I don't know though. Does Akinfeev, he tried to dive for it too. He almost had the rebound on the way back, I believe. Like
There was no way
tipped it back. No, there's no way he was going to get it, but he attempted to. So it was almost similar to Robert Green trying to dive for it, miserably failing, obviously. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully we don't see too much of that in the World
Hopefully.
Cup. It's unfortunate to see in the game, I guess.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. All right, well, let's take over to today's matches. First match of the day, we finally saw a losing side score more than a goal, and that was Australia, and unfortunately that wasn't enough for them. They were able to fight back even, but Memphis Depay, of course, with that brilliant goal at the end. But let's go to the start. Australia fought so hard, and they got so far against the Netherlands. But, I want to talk about Tim Cahill, who probably played his last international match for Australia. But let's talk about that blinding volley that he had for the Australians immediately after Aaron Robben scored. That was left foot. It's been proven today. It's an actual fact. Tim Cahill's a kangaroo.
That hop that he got on it too, and to bring it down and to control it off the crossbar and go in, I think that has to be a contender, if not for goal of the year, definitely. I think that's a contender, but it should win. It was an amazing controlled strike from a really good striker of the ball, and I think it really put Netherlands on the edge. It kind of scared them. After that 1-0, that Netherlands thought, oh, okay, this is it. We're gonna take over for the game. But then Australia really took it to them 70. I think it was 70 seconds or something. And
It wasn't even that.
It was
I don't even think so.
I don't know, but that strike was amazing. It's I could watch that strike over and over again, and it's just one of those flashes of brilliance they see from Cahill every so often, and that's a testament to him being a really good striker and showing up for these big moments, and it's good to see.
We have to start a category for a goal of the World Cup. Best goal by a header goes to Robin van Persie. Of course, that's not going to be touched, but best goal by a foot goes to Tim Cahill for that left foot volley today.
He's got my vote, definitely.
But we had that last goal that was scored by Memphis Depay, and that was another very good goal. He was able to bend it an outside foot shot, but you really felt that maybe Matty Ryan would have been able to get there. He tried his best, but he just couldn't keep it out of the net.
Yeah, as opposed to a good strike, I would give more fault to the keeper. It hit off his hand, and it just not strong enough hand, I felt like, to get it, to palm it away or palm it forward to a defender. It just went over his hand, I guess. And I don't know. I just felt like it's a savable shot, I guess. But a winner's a winner nonetheless. And congratulations to the Netherlands for getting through.
Uh,
Deserved.
Yeah, and it's funny though because that goal by DePay was another instance in this World Cup where you had an opportunity for one team to score a go-ahead goal or a tying goal on one end of the pitch, and it flies back in the other direction. Australia had a great moment in the box, and they had it taken away by the Netherlands, and it turns into a goal on the other side. Of course, the best moment of that definitely goes to Switzerland getting their winner.
Yeah.
Uh, but still, this has been an interesting World Cup. Just seeing it's been wire to wire football, and you can't argue with that. It's been great end to end action.
Right. I think this coast to coast thing is really basketball esque, I guess, in terms of being able to finish and getting a good goal out of it. And I think that's the thing of playing to the whistle, not giving up on giving up on a shot or playing defensive when you are tied. People they're going for the win, and that makes for really interesting soccer overall, and it's made the World Cup that much better, I think.
Definitely. Let's also talk about the next match where it was this giant goal fest. Spain and Chile. Chile showed up looking like Cruz Azul in their white kits with the the blue and red accents. It was a very good look for Chile, and something I bet you they'll be wearing for the next 4 years after they dispatched the reigning champions 4-0, and for Spain to become the first team eliminated from the World Cup. Australia became eliminated by trade, with Chile going to the scoring three. With Chile winning and getting 3 points as well, with the Netherlands and Australia not being able to catch up there with that goal differential. But my goodness, Chile just took it to the Spaniards.
I think they might be the. We talk about dark horse teams, and we had our pre-match favorites to be a dark horse team. I think right now Chile could play that role as a dark horse team. They're currently, their form right now is unbelievable. They're playing with such passion and fearlessness, and I think that's really helping them in terms of scoring goals and being confident on the play. I think it was a great performance by Chile today, and I have no idea how far they can go with that. If this form continues, they could definitely make it into the semis, I believe.
Yeah, the rain in Spain stayed mainly on their plane, and it'll still be there when they go back home. But as a question for you guys that are watching right now, would you put today's match more on Chile's execution or just the fact of Spain falling apart because they were sloppy and terrible? They couldn't compete. They couldn't complete passes. They couldn't defend. And then Fernando Torres got subbed on, and the match was over.
Death by tiki-taka, I think, at this point.
It's funny when I was doing my previews for the World Cup, I was talking about Spain. That said this is a team that doesn't like to score. They didn't score that many goals in qualifying. They'll pass the ball, they'll retain possession, and they just seemed anemic when they got to the front of the net. Diego Costa was not able to put the ball away. Busquets had a opportunity on the doorstep, and he just
hit off the knee and goes out. That sums up Spain's World Cup, I think. That play right there, almost there. What could have been didn't happen, and you got to take your chances when you can.
Oh man,
it's unbelievable to think though that Spain could not get out of that group. Was Spain in the group of death? You have to think about that.
Yeah, but just when I watched Busquets, I saw the replay. It's like that looks like me when I'm playing pickup soccer and I try to shoot with my left foot. You are a grown man playing professionally for your national team, and you can't connect when you're right in front of the goal. What is it with the? I don't know what to say.
6'3". He's got the reach to at least put something on frame, not put it wide.
I don't know what to say. I'm not even sure if I completely feel bad for Spain. It was such a terrible showing, a terrible effort by them, and it's really disappointing when you have a team that rolls in ranked number 1 in the entire world and they score 1 goal in 2 matches and give up 6 in the process.
Yeah, I guess they were talking about it on like ESPN and stuff like that, saying, is this the end of an era? I believe it is. There's a lot of aging players. There's a lot of talent on the bench that was not used at all during this World Cup. At what point do you start introducing those players that have proven quality and talent into this squad? There's also talk about these players not, they were fit to an extent, but tired. They had a long season via Champions League and domestic leagues and stuff like that. At what point do you have to rest some of them at some point? I think maybe fatigue really could have played the biggest part for the Spanish team capitulating.
Yeah, maybe, but I actually just remembered it's 7 goals that they've given up. They lost 5-1 to the
Right.
Netherlands, but
Hmm.
still, you give up 7 goals, you score one, and then to actually think about it, that they haven't actually scored a run, excuse me, scored a goal from open play. They're basically
Right.
Tottenham right now in the World Cup. I guess if the World Cup were to stretch for 5 months, then they might be able to score a goal from open play. But unfortunately for them, it doesn't happen like that.
Right. And I guess the strikers weren't on form. You bring in Diego Costa. He's coming off an injury, not 100%, I guess, recovering from, what was it, a hamstring injury, I think, or a calf injury.
Hmm.
Uh, Torres, who's hasn't been on form for the past 3 years, I guess, for a club or country. He comes on, he doesn't really make an impact. I really thought David Villa was going to come on. He's had a pretty decent impact with a lot of the players in the national squad. He knows how to play with them. He's got the team chemistry down. I was surprised that he was benched for this tournament so far.
Comment coming in from Diego here talking about the Spain-Chile match. I think it has to be said that Spain were terrible today, but Chile had to execute some great defensive intensity to stop the death by passing. Couple that with the great support in the Maracana, the good possession in the Spanish half, and good finishing. Great support by the fans that did get in peacefully, and those who decided to storm the media section. I guess they support it in their own way, but yeah, they're supporting the Americana, and also I think they played their first match in Natal, wasn't it?
Right.
But
Yeah.
they were in massive force there. Of course, the fireworks going off in the stands. The, the Chileans are in strong force. They're passionate. They love their team, and you have to salute that. You have to salute that.
Can I just say one thing? They destroyed the media room.
That was absolutely ridiculous. Like
The
you have
walls.
to, you have to think about how much time and effort the planning committee put in at the World Cup, and you put in these temporary walls which look great. Like everything was great. You have tables, you have televisions hanging on the walls, and all of a sudden 100 Chilean fans who care nothing about your security break down a glass door and go storming through it, and all the walls start falling. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, which is the good thing. But holy crap, how does this happen?
Can you imagine if this happened during a Premier League game? Unbelievable.
Oh, jeez. Like everybody would be fired. Everybody
The video just
fired.
the video just everything collapsing in the media room was just so damn funny. It was just too.
Oh my goodness. Thankfully nobody was hurt, but there's gonna be a whole bunch of arrests. Oh my goodness. This World Cup never fails to surprise. It never fails to surprise.
I think we need to find a video and post it to Facebook or Twitter
Oh, jeez.
of the walls just falling.
Oh.
Those walls could represent Spain, I guess. To an extent, just collapsing.
Spain collapse. And talking about another team that collapsed today, and it all started internally. Cameroon and Croatia, mental error, a terrible mental error by Alex Song. What in the world? Just he punched the Croatian defender in the back, and this is a match that was completely boring, and then it got completely sad at the end as Croatia put 4 goals in, and that was just capped off by Mario Mandzukic just tapping the ball past poor Charles Itange. I felt so bad for
Wait,
him.
that was a Tanji goal?
Uh,
I could have sworn it was who is it? Who's the guy? Wow. Black guy, Mohawk. I pity the fool.
Mr. T.
Mr. T. There we go.
Yeah.
Wow, brain fart.
Yeah, I felt so bad for him because he dove to stop that match, and I mean it's not he dove to stop that cross coming in, and it just landed at the feet of Mandzukic, who just pedestrian effort just tapped it in,
Right.
and Cameroon goes home very well. They don't go home, but they'll be looking to go home right now.
Quickest flight out of there. Tails between their legs. It's an embarrassing performance. All around. Not just the play itself, but the card by Song. Obviously, you don't like to see that happen. It's a definite red card. You can't tomahawk punch someone in the back.
That was
I,
the
I have no clue why he did that or what provoked it or why tomahawk punch. At least put in a hard tackle. Do something soccer worthy if you're gonna go out like that.
dumbest red card non-Pepe division.
Right, exactly. And one that should have been a red card was the Cameroonian player headbutting his own player. That was
Benoit Asu Ekoto.
who says soccer is not for fun, it's for money, which makes sense.
He's a Spurs player. What do you got to say?
I don't know. I think the Fro really didn't help him think, about what he was doing. He actually could have been sent off, for
Should have been.
Yeah, should have been for endangering another player. But it summed up Cameroon's night. They didn't play well. They really got outclassed by a strong Croatia team, who I think will get out of the group for when they play after they play Mexico in the third group game.
Diego saying Alex on thought he was in at an Atlanta Braves game with the tomahawk to the back. Also commenting said Chile's first match was in Cuiabá. Said Chileans are known to party to make every stadium they're in seem like Copa Libertadores. Copa Libertadores. Man does not speak Spanish. Uh, but it was 106 people who just blitzed the media room, basically gave a giant middle finger to FIFA and their planning committee. That's basically what happened today, more or less.
Yeah, I like to see Blatter's response to it and see what he does to Chile. I'd like to think there's going to be some sort of action taken against the Chilean FA for not controlling their fans, I guess, because to a certain extent, your FA has, your FA should have control over your fans and who comes to the stadiums. I just don't know. That whole situation was really weird to hear about before the game. I was a bit concerned, but then it just got laughable at the end.
Oh, FIFA.
Oh, FIFA.
Question coming in from Alex. A question we've had for a while, but I wanted to get through these matches. But will Drake perform started from the bottom at USA's next match? And the answer is no, because Drake is a Netherlands fan. It's, Drake is a fan of every team who just happens to be popular at the time, but no new friends. No new friends.
No new friends, right?
Yeah, no new friends. But I'm a Kentucky fan. I'm a Toronto Raptors fan.
He's a Chelsea fan, Man
I'm a
United
Chelsea fan, Man United fan. I'm a Barcelona fan. But no new friends. No new friends.
Nope.
Oh my goodness. This has just it's been a ridiculous day for news coming from the World Cup outside of the ties. Let's start with talking about the Greeks. Okay. Giannis Matiadis was so incensed with the quality of crosses that have been coming to the box from his teammates that he got into a training ground spat with another player, which eventually ended with him booking a flight back to Athens. How angry do you have to be at your teammates to leave from the World Cup just like that.
I thought Anelka was pissed during his World Cup, in 2010, and he just got on a bus. That's child's play to what Mantidis did, for Greece, and that's just I don't know. Do you play a player like that who's given up on his team or is incensed by the play?
No.
Do you really want someone like that in your team? Who could potentially destroy your World Cup run?
Hmm. I guess if you're gonna go home, go big. But I mean, he did end up taking the flight with this team to Natal, so he'll be with the Greek side for their next match. But you have to highly doubt him playing. I mean, you can't. How do you deal with somebody like that within the squad? That's just tough. I mean, of course, France just imploded. I really hope that Greece doesn't end up like the France team, but I mean, Greece isn't going to score any goals, so
Possible another own goal for team own goal for Golden Boot, maybe? I don't know.
player number 24.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Again, though, it might be an isolated situation. It doesn't seem like everyone was in the same boat as Mantidis, and I think coach should make the decision not to play him. If his mindset's not there, then why waste a spot that's for someone that's willing to play and sacrifice for the team.
Second bit of news. Kiran, I'm going to ask you a question here. Why do you think that Uruguay lost to Costa Rica?
Because CONCACAF is awesome.
That is a very good answer, but apparently it is not the correct one. The
What is
reason
it?
why Uruguay lost is because they don't have dulce de leche. Because the Brazilians would not let them take it into the country, and they had to leave it at the border. They were able to bring it with them in 2010, which they were able to make it run into the knockouts, but they don't have their dulce de leche in Brazil, and thus were dispatched 3-1 by Costa Rica. This is why the Uruguayans are bad. Not because of their skin-tight jerseys, not because Joel Campbell decided that, hey, I'm going to do me and y'all are going to lose, but no. They have no dulce de leche, and that is the reason why they lost.
Do they have a hissy fit in the locker room or something? And then, we're not going to play anymore. And then that's how Costa Rica won? I don't know. Why do they not allow the food? Is it just because it's one of those things that is banned in Brazil? Or
I guess they just didn't want them to bring it in with them. I mean, border control is ridiculous in all places, so I guess this is just another instance of that.
I don't know, though. How in love are they with it? I don't know. Dolce de
Apparently,
leche is good. I will give them that, but not enough to lose to Costa Rica. But I guess Costa Rica has their food. They're happy, and they got their 3 points. Well, that's cherry on top of the sundae right there.
yeah, every World Cup team has their things that make them happy, and of course, I remember during the Portugal-Germany match, they were talking about how the Portuguese players have their names written in gold in their room and posters of them in action. But here's the thing: let's talk about Portugal right now, gearing up for USA's match against them on Sunday. Well, we already know that Fabio Coentrão is going to be out. Pepe is suspended, and now there's reports coming out that a doctor told Cristiano Ronaldo that if he were to play on Sunday, it could potentially damage his career.
Wow, that's on top of with Hugo Almeida. What's his injury status? I know he's a striker up
I
top.
haven't seen, but Portugal, they're hurt right now.
They're hurt, right? And it's a big issue with Ronaldo. Do you save Ronaldo for this one game against the U.S. or for the sake of his career? Do you risk it where he could potentially ruin his playing days? With one injury. I think it might just be smart for him to just, rest up and try to face Ghana and hope for the best at that point.
Yeah, he's a guy who has many years ahead of him, and he's already collected so many accolades throughout his career, and I'm sure that there'll be more ahead for him. But you have to play smart. You can't risk yourself against the United States. I mean, this is the World Cup,
Right.
but at the same time, I personally I enjoy watching him play. It'd be a shame to see him be injured for the rest of his career over one
Right.
match, even though how big the magnitude of the match is. It'd be a shame to see him risk his career over one match.
And I think, the same can be said about Josie Altidore. I know that he suffered a big injury against Ghana. He had a hamstring problem, but I think we should ease him into it. There's no need to rush. There's a lot of talent within this U.S. squad that, we shouldn't have to rely on one single player. It should be a team effort. Teams should be able to work around different combinations of players, and you're going to have injuries like these where maybe one player is injured, but the team's able to adjust and go on from there.
It's
But
just
I don't feel this. Oh, good.
go ahead. Sorry.
I just don't feel like Portugal is the same way. I feel like you saw against Germany that they really, without Ronaldo, they really didn't have too much of a bite. Ronaldo played, but he didn't have too much of an impact. And is that bite? What's that bite going to do when you lose your two prominent defenders too? It's hard to say what the status of this Portuguese team is going to be like when they play the U.S.
You play 5-5-0.
5-5-0, right?
5-5-0. This is the Professional Fowlers World Cup Situation Room. I'm Jonathan Duran. He's Kieran Ballin, and right now we're going to move on to tomorrow's matches. If you guys have any other questions for us to answer, go ahead and shoot them in. We'll also get you guys' predictions for tomorrow's matches. We'll start with Colombia and the Ivory Coast. That's a coin toss if I've ever seen one.
Oh, definitely. You saw in the first game that Colombia had a really strong game, although they lost or they won, right? I believe.
Yeah, they won.
They won, right? And the Ivory Coast won. So I think this will decide top of the group, who goes through top of the group. I think Ivory Coast, though, they showed a lot of resiliency. I hope Drogba gets a start out. He really showed a really good match against Japan in the first group game, and there's no reason to not believe that he can have another impact against Colombia. But
Yeah.
Colombia, again, is a really strong team. So it's like you said, it's a coin toss. But I'm going to go with the Ivory Coast winning.
I think Drogba not starting was a fitness issue, if I heard correctly. But
Okay.
if he's fit enough to start, I really think that Ivory Coast will be able to have the edge over Colombia. I think they have the edge over Colombia either way. And you have Wilfred Bonny, who was able to get that goal, and also Gervinho and the rest of the team. You have a midfielder like Yaya Toure. I mean, you have Yaya Toure. I mean, that's
You don't
it
need anyone
right there.
else.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
you don't need anybody else.
It's a luxury if you have anyone else.
Yeah.
Yaya Toure is in a class of his own.
Thinking about Yaya Toure, I always laugh about this. During the last Premier League season, I was doing a fantasy Premier League, and I had Yaya Toure on my team.
Right.
And he was my captain because he was just putting up points after points after points after points.
Right.
And, of course, here they come in against my team, Fulham, come down to I think this is the match at the Etihad, and Yaya Toure just blitzed us. And it was a match where Manchester City had 2 games. Actually, no, I think it was just 1 game. And it was the game at the Etihad where Yaya had that goal where he just had so much open space and just picked a corner of the goal and blasted it there. But in that game alone, Yaya Toure had 21 points, and as such, as my captain, had that doubled, and he had 42 points. And of course, I was just laughing, saying the irony of him having 42 points on my fantasy team is not lost on me, since that is his jersey number for Manchester
Right.
City.
Exactly. I think maybe he does fantasy himself. Maybe he's captaining himself, and he's like, I have to get 42 every game. It's just one of those things where that's his personal goal, and that's fine by me. I captained him too. He was a big part of the reason that I had a lot of points at the end of the season, and I believe I came first in the league that I was in. And I don't know, he's a really good player nonetheless, and he deserves all the praise that he gets.
Diego commenting, Colombia and Ivory Coast draw. He goes 2-2. If it were to finish 2-2, Kieran, who do you think will have the goals? And do you think it'll be one team going up 2-0 before somebody coming back, or do you see it as a trading kind of goal scoring match?
If it's 2-2, I think it's gonna be a one after the other. I think there's I feel like one team is gonna have to try to counteract each other, and I think the goals will be scored by let's go with James Rodriguez with a double.
James.
Say what?
James Rodriguez.
Hummus.
James, yes.
Hummus. Okay.
But yeah, I mean,
And and then Boney scoring one. And I'm gonna give the winner to Drogba. If he plays, Drogba's gonna get a goal.
Drogba deserves a World Cup goal so much. He was able to play that assist, of course, to put Ivory Coast in front of Japan. But I can see that. James Rodriguez, I mean, he's a great attacking midfielder. He finds open space. He's able to attack for Colombia with the ball. He's able to spray passes. I think he might be able to get a goal and an assist for Colombia, and then give Drogba a goal, and I think Wilfred Bony will probably get the other one too.
Oh, okay. Bonnie's really shown to be the next Drogba, I think. You talk about Drogba having a presence on the field, and you see that from Bonnie. He's a very physical player, very strong on the ball, very good finisher, and I think Bonnie might be one of the stronger players of this tournament for the Ivory Coast. And moving forward for them, in the future of World Cups, I think he's going to be the player to go to.
Our second match tomorrow is the team without Dulce de Leche against the team that loves fish and chips, Uruguay and England. With this match, I really think that England finally will be able to get on track and get their first win in the World Cup. I do think it'll probably be Sturridge, and I'll probably give Gerrard a free kick. So I'll have a 2-1 win for England over Uruguay. What about you, Kieran?
I'm going to go 1-0 to England, and Danny Welbeck will get the game winner.
That's interesting.
It's ballsy, but you got to be ballsy in this World Cup, I think.
I think about Welbeck. I always think about him against with Manchester United. I mean, he's a good winger. I mean, we talked about this England team before. They're a very attack-minded team. You have so much pace on the wings, and you put Rooney at the top, and you have Steven Gerrard in the middle. Gerrard, a man who can play some passes. Again, this is not a team. I mean, Sturridge and Sturridge and Welbeck aren't the most defensive players tracking back, but you sure as hell know that they're going to be pushing the ball forward to get some goals.
Right. No, I think that this pace is a good thing. We saw in England teams past where it was a bit of an older squad. There's a bit of a young look to this team now. I think they're really trying to prove themselves on the international stage, and I think it's a good thing for England overall. There's a lot of young players, and they need to show their talent and worth. Which I don't know. I just feel like this Uruguay team isn't as strong as they were in 2010. And, without Godin playing, I think – oh, no, sorry, Lugano is not going to be playing, and that's a big loss for Uruguay not at the back. It might be a bit weak, and I think that's where England's has to exploit them, We'll see what happens, though.
Can we take a moment to talk about Diego Lugano? One, the faces, and two, just in the box. Yeah, I want to touch the ball. Let me hit the ball.
Playing some volleyball over there. I think that's why they dropped him, or he got injured.
Injured. Yes.
Injured. Yeah.
Comment from Diego is going to go 3-1 to England. Gerrard, Barkley, and Sturridge. Cavani for Uruguay. That's a very strong pick there. I can see those goals.
Yeah, especially with Sterling, I think. Or, sorry, not Sterling, Barkley. I think Barkley is one of those players that can have a breakout tournament, and he's a young player, and not much is known about him. I think this might be the stage for him to score his first goal for England in the World Cup for him. We'll see, though. I'm looking forward to that match. It's do or die for England, so there's a lot to play for them.
And one more do or die match for a team that'll need to string together wins. Japan against Greece, and you have to give it to Japan. Greece didn't show me anything. As much as I want the Greeks to do well, since they have Georgios Karagounis, who used to be a Fulham player. I'm not exactly sure if he's coming back next season. You have a current Fulham player, Kostas Mitroglou, who I guess is actually alive. But they look so stagnant on the ball. They didn't look like they wanted to attack. And I really think that Japan just has enough to be incisive. I'd probably give it Japan 2-0.
I'm gonna give it Japan 2-1. Japan obviously really technically gifted. They have a lot of quality. Honda had a really good game against Ivory Coast, and he showed his quality. Shinji Kagawa is another player who, although he doesn't play for United, they know his skill set. We know him on the international stage to be a very good player, and I think that's the type of quality that Japan has. They're not physically a very big team, but they do play positive soccer, and I think they're gonna be able to get the win against Greece. Greece, in my opinion, they might be the whipping boys of the group. The basement boys, if you will.
So you'll say 2-1. I got to ask you, where's this Greece goal coming from?
Maybe your boy Mitroglou is gonna show up and score. At which point I'm gonna get a nice message from you. Maybe a text, maybe I don't know, a Snapchat, I don't know, saying, show me a video of that goal to show that he's actually alive and playing,
If
'Cause,
Mitroglou, go ahead.
I don't know, if Mitroglou shows up, what's going to happen with the World Cup? Is it going to be like on another level then?
I don't know. See, if Mitroglou scores, I might actually cry. If he scores, I might actually cry and actually believe that he might play. We spent $15 million on him to play, what, less than two halves of football.
and then he's going to play a lot of championship football too to help him out.
Yeah, extra matches. He'll have 4 or 8 extra matches to play this year, so hopefully he'll be able to get fit.
I'm surprised that you guys have the cap room to actually, or a cap room, the salary to actually, keep him there. Considering you guys are in the championship now.
We didn't spend any money last summer. Of course, we have the money. Oh well. Talking about Fulham is something for another day. We're here to talk about the World Cup, which is awesome.
Yes, sir.
Comment coming in from Diego. I'm gonna go Japan 4-1. Case. Kagawa, Honda with 2, and Yoshida off a set piece. Good pick there. I like my Yoshida for Southampton. He's a great defender for them. And I think Samaras will nick 1 for Greece. Japan scoring 4, that's definitely something I can see. I was saying Greece, again, they didn't show me anything. Colombia was just, they took them apart. And Greece they didn't move on the ball.
I don't know. This Greek team, they lost 3-0, I believe, right? In their first
Colombia.
game? Yeah, to Colombia, right. No, I remember that game, and, Alexi Lalas, of all people, was saying, oh, the Greeks are so good and, whatnot. He said, then again, this is the same guy that said that USA would tie Ghana, so I don't know what to believe at this point. But the Greeks really didn't show anything. They really don't have a style of football that they can go towards. They just play, which doesn't amount to anything really. You see, they don't have a set game plan. It's not as positive as it is seen from the successful teams, and I think that's what's going to hurt them in the group stage.
We run through the matches tomorrow. I'll answer a few more questions before we get out the broadcast here. A question coming in from Naruto Kiyomi. Do you think the World Cup is touching people worldwide? I really do. This is the one thing I really like about the World Cup is that everybody always seems to get together. And, of course, there's people from all different countries who end up going to different countries via immigration or traveling or what have you. And one of the great things about the World Cup is that all these pictures start showing up online of people getting together in bars and people wearing different jerseys, supporting different nations, just everybody hanging out together. And that's the coolest thing about the World Cup for me. That's what I love. I know one of my friends who is Argentinian who's going to be hanging out in downtown Raleigh watching all of the Argentina matches, and everybody yells. It's a great time to be together for the World Cup. And it's one time where the world really stops to get together. I mean, you might be against each other for 90 minutes, but it's one of those times where you can sit next to somebody on the couch and casually rib them or elbow them in the ribs, saying, you know what, we just scored 2 goals against you. What are you gonna do? And at the end of the match, you're gonna go share a beer, and that's the great thing about the World Cup.
That was beautiful. It's making me cry. No, it's the World Cup. It's the world's game for a reason. It's good to see new fans come in too. There's a growing community of soccer fans that show up during the World Cup, and it's good to see that they're taking an interest in them. They might not have the soccer knowledge of seasoned watchers, I guess, but it's good to see that they take an interest and they grow the sport, especially in America. A lot of my friends are new to soccer and haven't really, had an established team and whatnot. But it's good to see them that take an interest in finding out who these players are, where they're from, and I think this World Cup, there's a lot of, there's a lot of talk, which is good. I like there's a lot of discussion and stuff. It's a multi-dimensional. I think even with social media, there's a lot of talk, and I think that's helping this World Cup, become even more popular. And the ratings are showing it too, across the board.
It's great is that the World Cup is one of the greatest pieces, probably of free publicity for FIFA, or for soccer itself. So every 4 years, you always end up with a big influx of fans, and right now MLS is on the rise. And what's interesting is that right now during the World Cup, we're also in the middle of the U.S. Open Cup here in domestic football, and just the fact that one of the world's oldest open tournaments is competing at the same time as the World Cup. That's beautiful. I love it.
Soccer all around, soccer for days, in my opinion. I love it, and it's the beautiful game for a reason. Let's keep it that way.
It's very beautiful, and there's been some non-beautiful moments. There've been some ugly moments that we've seen, but for the most part of it, just some great
Right.
goals, and just
Mhm.
from the very second day when you have a diving header from Robin van Persie, that set the tone. That set the tone of the World Cup, and from there, just goals have been flying in left and right, and I couldn't be happier.
And you see it in the players too. They're genuinely happy when they celebrate their goals. It's a celebration for them too, as much as the fans at back home. You saw with John Brooks when he scored the winner for the U.S. He was stunned. At the age of what's he, 20
21.
maybe,
He's 21.
21, right? He's 21, right? A 21-year-old scoring his first goal for the U.S. and it's the game winner in a World Cup match. Unbelievable. And then you see, Pablo Amaro scoring for Colombia, doing a little dance with his
Yeah.
team, and I just love it. I love these celebrations that the players come up with. It's so creative, and they're genuine too, and that's what you want to see in this. A genuine love for the sport,
You
and
talk
that's why, right?
you talk about John Brooks's goal, like I was telling you earlier, is that I never saw it. I never saw his goal celebration because I was too busy, like I said, having beer spilled on me and everybody just jumping up and down and hugging each other, that I didn't see his celebration until I came home, and just the fact that his reaction was that he just couldn't believe what was happening, and the only thing he had left to do was just to lie down on the ground. It's just a pure outpouring of emotion, not just from him, but from everybody around the world. And it's just great to see. You talking about the question we just had is a World Cup touching everybody, and just when you see the joy that these guys have from playing the sport that they love, it's great to see.
And then you have the
The Super Chileans.
Super Giants. They want to get in on the media action too.
I'm pretty sure that the surge into the Americana was led by the Kool-Aid Man. Kool-Aid Man is a Chile fan. There you go, right there. We need to
There we
start
go.
packaging some Kool-Aid with the Chile logo on the front of the package.
Right, exactly.
Oh my
Oh, yeah.
goodness.
Uh,
Uh,
this World Cup has been amazing though. It's not even like close to being over yet. And that's the fun part about it. We have so many games left. We're only just started round two to an extent, and the excitement just builds as we go. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna look like 50 by the end of this. We're done with all these podcasts and hangouts and stuff. It's gonna be, I'll look like Danny Alves, like Danny Alves did yesterday with his dyed hair. I don't even know if it's blonde or whatnot.
I don't know. I gotta tell you, it was not a good decision.
It wasn't. I really think you look 50 years old. It's like what happened here?
You want me to tell you who I thought that Danny Elvis looked like?
Oh boy, don't say in sync. Don't say in sync.
He looked like Pink
Yes, right.
with the tan and the platinum blonde hair. It was not a good look. Not a good
It was
look.
no, no, and then Neymar's like, I want to get into these 90 pop boy bands too, and you see him dye his hair blonde. It's like,
Yeah.
what's going on now?
All right, here's a question. All right, so Neymar scored 2 goals in the opening match in the World Cup, right? So if he
Mhm.
scores 2 goals and gets highlights in his hair, how many more goals does he have to score until he just dyes it and bleaches it blonde?
Well, you saw him dye his hair and he didn't get any goals. So I think maybe the blondness in his hair was, hurting his eyesight. Maybe I don't know. And he's not able to see the goal. Maybe he's blinded and helped Ochoa out for that game.
Maybe.
I have no idea. I'm just
Oh,
pulling that out right now.
we will continue with Neymar hair watch and Brazil hair watch as the World Cup continues. Quick question coming in here from Omar: what kind of international soccer leagues do you watch? Personally, I'm a Fulham fan, so I like to follow the Premier League, but more importantly, I have to follow the domestic league at home. Living in North Carolina, I'm a big fan of the Carolina Railhawks. Kieran, what about you?
I'm in the Chicagoland area, so obviously for MLS, I follow Chicago Fire. I've been a Fire fan for since '97, I'd say, definitely since '97, '98. Internationally, I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm a diehard Chelsea fan. Been to the Bridge. Haven't seen a game there yet. Hope to in the near future. But Chelsea's my team right now, and I support them. Mourinho is trust. So I don't know. What about you?
Yeah,
To
yeah,
the
it's a,
question to the
yeah.
question asker. Let's ask him. Who does he support?
Yeah. Well, while we wait for that answer, a comment from Diego: the Kool-Aid Man is red for a reason. Yes, that is true. That's very true. Hey, Kool-Aid Man.
Oh yeah.
My goodness. He's
Mm.
the Chelsea fan. I'm the Fulham fan. Yes, we do get along. He's Kieran Bolin, writer for Soccer Newsday. And Kieran, your final thoughts from today's broadcast.
It was a great recap. Really, there was a whole lot of action, I think, in the past couple days, and I hope to see more of it. It was great to see Netherlands and Chile progress out of the group. Group A is open to an extent, for second place, and that's good to see. You really want to see some action happen, and it's good to see some of these other groups too. Hopefully Costa Rica can get a win in their next game and progress through to the group, which would be a fantastic story for CONCACAF and Costa Rica themselves. So there's a lot of stories to be told. We're just waiting for the action to happen. Hopefully, no more walls are broken by Chile. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Oh my
Uh,
goodness. What a
oh,
world. What a
what a World
world.
Cup!
What a
What a
World
World
Cup.
Cup! Yeah, it's
My
amazing.
goodness. Okay, well, you guys know the deal. We are the Professional Foulers Association. We will be live tweeting all the matches tomorrow, especially starting at noon. First match tomorrow, Colombia and Ivory Coast. You can follow us on Twitter at ProFowlers. Follow us on WordPress, professionalfowlers.wordpress.com, where we get you started on every single day with the World Cup Wake Up. We have headlines coming from not exactly the matches of the World Cup, but from things going on around the World Cup. For example, this morning you might have found Mario Balotelli filling his Panini sticker book, and everybody on the Italian team is just him. Why always me? Because you say so, Mario. That's why it's always you.
Hey man, those books are addicting. I'm trying to find stickers right now for my Panini book. I only got the basic set, from the book itself. So I'm trying to find places for that sell them. So I'm addicted to it.
Yeah. Omar commenting said he's a Manchester United fan. I am sorry for you and how terrible your team was this year, but I can't really talk because I got relegated. But you know what? We're coming back next year stronger than ever.
Now you know where you play Fellaini. Remember that, all right? You play him up top, don't play him in midfield, and you'll be good. Uh, you guys have a solid squad, though. Man United will come back stronger next year, I think, for sure.
They'll have Louis Van Gaal, who is going to be again in charge for the Netherlands on Monday, June the 23rd, as they take on Chile in the final match of Group B. And that's going to be a good one to watch. Once again, follow us on Twitter at ProFowlers. Follow us on WordPress, professionalfowlers.wordpress.com. We're also on Facebook, the Professional Fowlers Association, and also available on Google+. Find us, the Professional Fowlers Association. Glad to have you guys with us. We'll be back with another World Cup Situation Room as we continue on throughout the World Cup. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you
Thank you
next
guys
time.
for listening. See you guys.